I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin. In this video, we're going to have a look at the SolChicks NFT prices. So this is not about the SolChicks token. This is solely about the NFTs. What is happening before the listing, but most importantly, in 2 days' time, when the listing has happened, what is going to happen after the listing? Because the market is extremely volatile. And of course, do we need to buy more of these NFTs? Do we need to sell more of these NFTs? A complete price prediction coming up. Nothing in this video is financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. I would highly appreciate it if you enjoyed the SolChicks videos, if you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I have some information, some insider information, which says that after the listing on Monday, December 13th, the third wave of mints is going to be announced after the centralized exchange announcement following the DEX listing. So on Monday, the SolChicks token, December 13th, will list on Radium. After that specific announcement, they will make some other DEX and centralized exchange announcements, and thereafter, specifically the wave 3 date for the NFTs is announced. Why is this so important? We have seen a steady decline of the NFT price on the SolChicks NFTs. I'm not talking about the average price, I'm more so talking about the overall stability and the floor price, right, specifically. So basically this was the moment leading up to the IDO, right, and I purchased mine somewhere here for like 3 Solana. So I'm still super good, right? I'm still like highly profitable on my NFTs, but some of you might not be. So if you are not aware, the NFTs, SolChicks, you could hold them for the private sale access through SolChicks direct website, and then you need to hold them for the entire duration of the vesting, limiting the circulating supply, which obviously drives up the bid floor, but not really, because as of this week, when the IDO listing got postponed, so it was supposed to happen the 6th of December, it got postponed to the 13th of December. Of course, they can't postpone again, you would say. What you'll see is that the average price is up, but the amount of sales is down, right? So the sales were like 100, 125, 160, 185, almost 200, or here we go, 200, and then it dropped to about half, and that's the Thursday, Friday, when the whitelists were announced. Basically, people no longer need the SolChicks and the price went down, right? Average price went from 40 in one day to 20. Basically, it went from 200 sales a day, 150, 200 a day, to let's say 35 a day, 26 a day, 25, 29, 30, 30, 40. And then when the listing was postponed, so obviously it was going to list on the 6th, they announced it, I think, on the 4th that the listing was postponed. The volume went down to like 18, 10, 26, 23, 6, 11. So basically, the average price here is high because there were only 6 sales, and one of them was like a mythical one for 160 Solana, which pulls up the average, but it's not really obviously super accurate, right? Which is quite the problem, because the average bid floor right now, so Solana added some new attributes to their website, which is great, but it's not really sorting that well, the filters. So the bid floor is 11 Solana at the moment. So you see 11, it's filtered on price, but it's not really working because we have one from 11.98, which is supposed to be here, obviously. But we can see once we go through the overview that there's many for sale before we hit a bid floor of 15 Solana. Taken into consideration as well that the price of Solana currently is extremely down due to the Bitcoin correction. And that is something I want to focus on in this video, because that means that when people were buying their SolChicks on this big leg up, right here, which was the 23rd of November-ish, right, 23rd of November. On the 23rd of November, we were looking at an average Solana price of about $220, right? Right now, you can buy for $177. So if you get money out of stable coins into these NFTs, Well, what are we talking about? You already got 25% off, right? One, the bid floor is lower, which is your reduction in price, plus the 25% of the undervalued Solana, if you pull your money from a stablecoin, that is. If you have your money in any altcoin or whatever, they obviously went down as well, so that equalizes them. But from a stablecoin perspective, that has a huge opportunity. Now, the question really is it worth it to buy, or are these NFTs not going to recover? And will it turn, I don't want to say into a shit show, because they're still quite high, you know. These NFTs were once minted for 3 Solana, right? 3 Solana at this September 16th. So September 16th, which was this October, September 16th, yeah, which was like minted for like 450 bucks, right? 450 bucks for one NFT, which are currently, let's say, 11 Solana. So we're still talking about a 4x-ish, 3 to 4x on the return, which is in such a short time period amazing. Could have been a lot better if you sold earlier, right, on the hype. But the question really is, will the hype come back? If we look at the NFT prices right now, a common for 11, an uncommon for 13, and a rare for 22. Then you get the mythicals and legendaries, which are pretty stable in their price. They don't really change that much. Compared to Solana Art being the biggest exchange, having about 351 for sale, which is just over the last NFT update that I did, which means that more people are dumping their NFTs, so there is less demand and more supply. When we look at the Magic Eden, which is the second highest traction exchange marketplace for the SolChicks NFTs, 11.69 is the bid floor, and there the bid floor moves up quite quickly. There's not that much supply. There are only 73 listed, which is about the average for Magic Eden throughout the entire last 2 months. There's always about 70 for sale, so Magic Eden is really stable, and that's something that would stabilize the price a lot more if there's more traction again. If you look at the prices that has been sold, is there a lot of activity still? Yes, right? Especially on Magic Eden, every single day there is basically good traction. There was a lot more traction, right, than there is now, definitely. But the project is definitely still, I don't want to say in high demand. There's still every 5-7 hours there's some traction there. What is interesting is that the bigger NFTs, look at this one, 120 Solana, and there will be some other ones coming up, 200 Solana, are still being pushed through, but those are probably 50 Solana. Those are probably for more of a long-term play kind of move, right? I mean, if you could pick them up for 9 Solana, especially with the low price of Solana right now, I think that might be something to consider. Look, 60 Solana might be a smart move, because when Solana pulls back, you just list it for the same price basically, and you take like the 25% increase of value, but then you could hold Solana just as well as a coin. Well, something to consider at least. Supply and demand are a continuous process, but from my point of view is I need to hold my SolChicks for a duration of 3 months, right, for the vesting, else I don't get my SolChicks tokens. So I have the commons, I have the uncommons, and I have one rare, right? So this is the type, this is amount, this is price, and this is, oh, I need to sort Solana price as well. So this is Sol price, and this is USD price, and then this is Sol price. So the Solana price right now is 177 USD. Then I have 4 commons, 11, 10 uncommons, and 1 rare. And those Solana prices, I'll just take Solana 11, 13, 22.7. Okay. Okay, 34K with my investment of 13K is still a 2.6x, which is good. Which I'm still happy about. Because this is, I don't know if this is the lowest low the NFTs have been after obviously the initial spike when I purchased, because when we look at the actual price chart, I purchased right here, right, or right here. So there was like a huge rally after I purchased, because it was right on time discovering this project. So I mean, 2.68 is not bad. However, what would be my ideal situation? Literally, I can tell you honestly, it all depends on the listing on Monday, right? The listing of the token will influence the price. So token is now more important than the NFT, right? Why? Specifically because it will pull the hype back towards the project. When the hype is pulled back towards the project, all of a sudden people realize that these NFTs are required to play the game, and the alpha is dropping in January, which is literally 2.5 weeks away. What that means is that there will be a lot of hype around the third minting. So now you got the token sale coming up first, and I hope it will do well because I'm a big investor in it, obviously. I got about $30,000 worth of tokens, so I hope the listing goes well. But it directly influences the price in two ways of the NFTs. One, it could get a lot of eyeballs if the price does well, obviously, right? With marketing efforts, hype, blah, blah, blah. People look at the project, don't only look at the token, also look at the utility aspect of the NFTs, which creates demand for the NFT. So if Monday, we could see a little bit of a pullback towards Monday in terms of the price going up, pulling back to the original level. So going from, let's say, a bid floor of 11 Solana, perhaps pulling back to maybe 14, 15. Don't expect something dramatic. In my opinion, that would be most realistic, but there are many, many for sale. You know, we're not talking 10 sales, we're talking like 40, 50 sales before we reach like 15, 16 Solana, which is very important to consider that it doesn't happen that quick, especially with a volume lately of like 6, 10 a day. That would be way too crazy, right? There's 2.5 days until the listing, 3 days almost. I don't see that happening, right? However, the token will have major influence in terms of eyeballs. I'll just eyeballs, which basically reach, right? Which then relate back on the NFT. In combination, that after listing, after the major exchange announcements, which obviously pulls again more eyeballs towards the token, they will announce the third minting, and they'll also do the airdrop for the NFTs, right? SolChicks airdrop and SolCoin airdrop that will be received. Obviously, there will be an exclusive weapon airdrop, so there are multiple airdrops coming up, which increases the demand of the NFTs. The whole team right now is focused on the listing, which makes sense because it's happening in 2 days. They have postponed it for a week. Now they want things to happen well, properly. This is like the main, if not the most important event they have done so far, right? Then the game alpha is super important, but that will probably be mid-late January. That will come. So the next big thing is the NFTs. Their focus will switch, where it rests right now maybe 95% on the token, 5% of the NFT. I assume that the demand will be 40% of the token, 60% of the NFT, because that is the thing where the hype will go through. They will hold the value. Yes, the token price will have to stabilize. It will go up, it will go down, whatever the market does and whatever Bitcoin does, right? The market is still very much dependent on the mood swings of Bitcoin. However, what the team can influence then is the NFTs. So I'm looking, basically this is my idea, right? If the SolChicks token launches on Monday and I see immediate traction, so it launches 2 p.m. UTC, before it launches, I will have 200, let me see how much Solana, 177, let me see. 35K, yeah, I can do that. So I will have 200 Solana ready to buy NFTs. As soon as it opens, people are going to trade, dump, whatever, right? I told myself I'll probably wait half an hour to an hour just to see where the price is going. I'm not going to jump in the first minute, right? I don't need to. But what I do want to do is, while they are distracted, and I'm looking at the chart, obviously I'm looking at the chart, I'm just not going to take emotional action. I have my strategic sell-off points. If you're interested in that, watch my price prediction video and my whole strategic plan on the token sale. But this one is about the NFTs. So while everybody's distracted, focusing on the tokens and everything, I might take my 35K, which at a bid floor, let's say of about 12 to 15. Oh, okay, so this is in US dollars, of course. So I would have to do, how much Solana does that give me? Okay, this times 200. Divided by 12, or did I do it times 12? No, hang on. So this is the Solana price, yeah. And I want to have 200 Solana. That was it, 200 Solana. So it's basically 200 Solana divided by 12. So I can buy 16 NFTs, right? Ish, if the average price is about 12, right? 16.7 NFTs, which is 16, right? Because the 0.6 is nothing. So 16 NFTs I will be able to buy. I would literally have to hold them for less than 4 to 5 days before they announce the airdrops, everything, the demand goes up. Then I would sell them for, let's say, 15 to 20. So let's say a conservative 15, right? Which is 3 Solana profit each, right? Which is not that much, but we're talking 50 Solana. 50 Solana at an average price of 177 bucks, that's $9,000 in 4 days. Yes, you need a high initial investment, right? But this is my plan. This is how I'm thinking. When people are focused on one thing because the hype is there, I'm not there. I've made my plans. I've made hour-long videos of my price predictions, including when I want to sell, how I want to sell. The token game I have figured out. I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to let my emotions take control. And while they are distracted, I'm going to plan the first move ahead of where they are going to consider that later, right? That's my whole plan with these NFTs. That is my price prediction at the moment. That is where I think it will follow. I think that this is 10, 9, probably 9.9, 9.8. I've seen some sales for the 9.9, 9.8 section. I think that's like the lowest low that we've seen, and I don't think it will come back to that point if the launch goes well. If the launch doesn't go well, so if we'll see only a 2x, maybe a 3x on the token launch, this will turn into a fucking nightmare, and these NFTs, I don't want to say it will become worthless, but they will go near the minting price, right? They will go back to 5, 6 Solana because there's just no demand and people will start to dump significantly. And I'm not going to buy at that point, obviously. However, if the token sale does go well, and that's why you need to follow it in real time, then there's a huge opportunity here. And that's what I want to focus on, at least. More so the opportunity, because the thing is, if the token sale doesn't go well, I don't have to do anything. I just have to sit there and wait and do my strategy on the tokens and ignore the NFTs for now. However, if the token sale does go well, which we all hope and which I think it will do, then obviously I need to make a move, because I need to be faster and more strategic than everybody out there, because it's competition after all, right? So I think that's what I will do with these NFTs. I think that's the plan. I think 9 is the lowest low. I think 11 right now is already a little bit up. It's a good indication. I think towards the launch, it will go up a little bit more. Maybe we'll see 12, 13, 14 Solana, hopefully. Then after the launch, if the launch goes well, it will go, I don't want to say parabolic, but as soon as the NFT announcements come, the hype is there. Obviously, they have a huge audience. There is not that much supply. If we look at the overall audience being over 400, 500,000 individuals, then 351 plus 70, maybe a couple scattered here and there, then 400 out of the total supply currently of 5,000, because this is the total available. This is not in circulation yet. That's a little amount relative to demand, which could potentially be created for the supply that's currently available. So then this price would bang, shoot up tremendously relative to previous all-time highs for the whitelist. So that's my plan. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give the SolChicks project and my efforts a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you think the SolChicks price will do in the near future when it comes to and the token and the NFTs. I love to have a healthy discussion about that. Drop that down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.